Hey, somebody's unmuted and they were on call, I believe. Yeah, somebody says hello, please let me know. Hello. Yeah. We'll wait for 2 minutes to get started. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. After you log in, please go on mute. I see that after you log in and you forgot to go on mute and we see background noises also from your side. During the session, I request you to please be on mute. If you have a lot of background noise, I request you to do not unmute it. Class not audible. Okay, yeah, I think we had a good time. 5 minutes we spent. I think let's get started. Before we start, still I'm waiting for. Let me share my screen. I'm pulling up some important things to discuss here. Dani, I request one view.
Sir.
Dani, please go on mute.
So good morning. Actually, your voice is not clear, Keshav.
Or is my voice is not clear? Give me a minute. Let me check my audio connectivity. Let me set. Mahadev. Mahadev, I request you to go on mute. Mahadev.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Very good morning, Mahadev. Yeah. We we hear some background noise. I request you to go on mute.
Yeah, I will be put it on.
Thank you. So,
Nilesh sir, good morning.
hello. Yeah. I request you to go on mute, everyone. Hi, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me and you're able to see my screen as well. Before we continue, I request you to please confirm on screen share and audio.
Yes, Keshav, you're audible and we are able to see the screen.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the confirmation. And it's time to get started with the today's session. Here we go. Let me, here we go. Hello and welcome to AWS DevOps. I'm Keshu Kumari. In today's session, I will be explaining about session details, course duration, how we will be sharing the notes, images, and session video. Then we will be exploring onto how to become a DevOps engineer, roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, and we will explore onto AWS services. We'll look into AWS services which we have, and we will try to condition according to our AWS DevOps. So let us go with the slide. Here we go. Let me reopen. Welcome to AWS DevOps. We are going to deep dive onto these for the concepts. First one is about course details. Second one is about sharing running notes, images, quiz, interview questions, sample resumes, and session video. Roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer, how to become a DevOps engineer, and AWS services which are required for the DevOps engineer. Course name, AWS DevOps. Duration, it's going to be 40 hours. Daily 1 hour, it will be 40 hours. Type of session, it's weekday, Monday to Friday. How to access session resources, whatever I discussed, running notes, images, screenshots, all this will be sharing with the help of version control system, which is nothing but source code management. So we will be using GitLab. Let me go to gitlab.com. As part of GitLab, we will be creating a repository. If somebody is new to IT, where somebody is new to source code management or version control system. So this is a simple website where you can create a folder. Instead of you call it as folder, you call it as repository. This particular tool is fall under source code management. Let's fall under source code management. Part of it, we have different vendors: GitHub, GitLab, Atlassian, Bitbucket. Along with this, we have other vendors as well. Currently, we are working with GitLab to share running notes with you. I logged into the gitlab.com. There I created an account with it. Here is my account. It's like logging to the Gmail. That's how we do it. So here I'm creating a repository. I will name it as AWS DevOps 2022-06 and 18. The reason why I'm creating this, to share running notes, images, and code. I'm creating a folder. In another word, we call it as repository in version control system called GitLab. Under gitlab.com is a website. There we have a username. Under this user, we are creating a folder, nothing but repository. It's a description of the repository. And this repository can be created in two different ways. One is called private, which means to this repository, I can only add users, and those users can only view this particular repository. If it is private, restricted with the access. If I go to public, if anybody has this URL, with this URL, they can access the content of this folder. While I'm creating the repository, we can do private or public. You may be creating public, later you can also convert into private. You may be creating as private, later you also can convert into public. Vice versa, I can do it. I'm creating a repository in GitLab with a public visibility and creating with a readme.md file. Click on create project. This is our repository, and using this repository, I'll be sharing the notes, images, screenshots, and code or configuration files with you throughout our 40 days of journey. This particular repository, I will be cloning to my local machine. When I say cloning, I would like to show you one diagram so that you will be able to understand what am I talking. Here we go. This is our operating system. Upon our operating system, we must install a software called Git. Git is fall under version control system, part of source code management or source control management or version control system. One of the vendor called Git. Git is a CLI version control system. That means we need to install the software on our operating system. If you want to work in a command line of version control system, you can use this. Or if you want to talk to other vendors like GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket, if you want to talk to them, if you want to interact with them, you will be using commands. And those commands, you will be getting it when you install the software on your operating system. This Git software need to be installed on our operating system. It is like this on our operating system of Windows, Mac, or Linux. On it, we have to install the software. When we install this software, we get three functionalities, three advantages with this particular Git software. The first advantage is to interact with the version control system vendors. We get Git workflow commands. Here we have Git workflow commands. This is a Git workflow, online repository, local repository. The local repository has again three layers, and these are the commands. Do you see here? Git space status displays paths that have difference between the index file and the current head commit. That means it will check your local repository with the online repository, and it will tell you what is the status of your local. So these commands, you will be getting it when you install Git software on our operating system. I see one of the learner is saying that no audio. Raj, I request you to please log out and log in again so that you will be able to hear properly. Thank you. And these commands, whatever you see here, stats commands or workspace commands or index commands or local repository commands or online repository commands, all these commands you will be getting it with the help of Git software. The moment you install this, you get this Git workflow commands. Second advantage with this Git is SSH, secure shell host, to the remote Linux and Unix machines. Connecting to remote Linux and Unix machines with the help of PuTTY, most of you are aware of it. After installing Git Bash, with the help of Git Bash tool, you can connect remote Linux and Unix machines without PuTTY also. That is the second advantage with this software when you install on your operating system. And the third advantage is on your Windows, if you want to execute a Unix type commands or Linux type commands, then you must install Git on your machine. Then you will be able to work with the touch, mkdir, cd, ls command, pwd command. So all these Unix type commands will be able to execute on Windows because of this particular software. So when you install the software on your operating system, it has three advantages. And as part of our GitLab, I created a repository. If you want to download this repository to your local machine, you are supposed to use Git commands. On our operating system, we install Git. What I have to do now? I have to execute git space clone command. I have to use git space clone command. Download the repository specified by repo. Go back to the GitLab, go to the clone, copy the URL, go back to your local machine, open git bash, navigate to the folder where you regularly keep all your learning documents or repositories, whatever. Upon my operating system, I created a folder called repos. Here I clone all the repositories. Before you clone it, you have to check Git software is installed or not. On your machine, you have CMD or PowerShell. You can open CMD, PowerShell or Git bash. Once it is opened, you have to validate Git is installed or not. If it is, what kind of version it is. It's 2.36.0 is installed. If I go to the official website of git-scm.com, it's 2.36.1. So that is fine. It's almost close to latest 2. After this, you are supposed to execute git commands. These are the git commands what we have. When you install this software, you get these commands. See, these are the commands you'll be using it. The usage also they specified. The first command you'll be using is clone command. What does it mean is clone a repository into a new directory, nothing but to download the remote repository to the local, you are supposed to use this command. Clear the screen, present working directory. Here I'm cloning the repository. Get the URL from the repo, go to HTTPS, copy this link, git space clone space the URL. Repository has been downloaded. Whether it is downloaded or not, you can verify with the help of ls command. This is a repository has been downloaded. If you want to see the content of that particular folder, you can just simply execute ls space -lrta. A will display including hidden content, including normal file, normal directory, hidden files, hidden directory can be displayed with the help of A, hidden content. So upon this particular repository, inside this repository, what we have is readme.md file. We have hidden directory 1, hidden directory 2, hidden directory 3. So .git is a hidden directory, which is inside this particular repository. That means it is not the operating system folder. It's a repository. By looking at this, you have to understand this is how it works. Now, I will go inside of this repository with the help of cd command. After going there, you can see the content. You can see the same content what it is displayed. Without navigating inside the folder, you can execute ls space fnlrta space name of the folder. But it is not operating system folder, it is a repository. How can I say that? Because inside the repository, inside the folder, we have .git is a hidden directory. That means you should understand this is a repository, not your operating system folder. And this particular repository can be opened with the help of IDE tool, Integrated Development Environment. As part of our operating system, we will be installing some text editors. Like one of the text editor we have installed, which is called Visual Studio Code, which is similar to Notepad++. or Edit++. So VS Code is from Microsoft. It is open source. Anybody can freely download and install it. Let me take you to the official website of Visual Studio Code. Anybody can freely download and they can use this. It is compatible with various operating systems. Upon my machine, I have installed Visual Studio Code, and here I can see I can open VS Code. This is a VS Code or Visual Studio Code. Go to open. Now we have to open the repository. Just now we downloaded it. Go to the users home directory. There is a folder was called repos, and there is a repository we have cloned it, which is called DevOps, AWS DevOps underscore 2022-0618. Open this repository with the help of VS Code. After opening it, part of the VS Code, we will have terminal. Here is a terminal. Open this terminal. The beauty of this particular VS Code is you can create folder graphically, you can create file graphically, or you can do the same thing with the help of command line. PWD, present working directory, where are you? It is tell you, and what we have with the help of ls space FNLRTA. And you can create a folder here. Before you create a folder, you can execute git commands. Git space status command, git space status command, status command. It will fall under examine the history and state. Status means show the working tree status. Git space branch. It will tell me you are sitting upon which branch, listing the branch. Can create a new branch, git space branch name, or you can just say git space branch. It will list local branch. If you want to list remote branches, -r. If you want to list both, -a. If you want to create a new branch, you can give a branch name. You can give any new branch name here, like this. So these are the commands we will be discussing later. As of now, I'm just giving some background to you. So all these commands are here: clone command, pull command, branch command, push, fetch command. Then you have diff command, commit. Then you have status, diff, add, remove, rename, checkout. So all these commands we'll be using as part of our Git workflow. Being a DevOps engineer or IT engineer, everybody should know Git. And they are like your operating system commands. You should remember them. And it's easy to remember. You may be seeing so many commands here, but if you look at my diagram here, few commands are easy enough in day in and day out. First command is clone, that is one-time activity. Every day when you start your work, fetch command, pull command. After that, you'll be part of workspace. You'll be executing these three commands, any one of the command based on the need. From workspace to staging, from staging to local, commit. From local to online, push. So you can check the differences. You can check out to the branches. You can delete the branches. You can create the branches. You can rename the file. You can move. You can remove the file. You can rename the folder. You can rename the file as well. So these are the commands you'll be working with. Later we have separate session for that. All these commands you just need to remember. It's easy to remember because they are like similar like OS commands. The reason why I cloned it, I am showing all this because I'll be creating a folder here saying day 1 2022 0618. The folder, and you can see left side it is opened graphically, and I'm creating a file inside it. A folder and file got created here. I'm going to the file here, and I'm saying we are going to discuss about the codes. Next one is about how to share running nodes, images, etc., and how to access session video, about roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer, how to become a DevOps engineer, and if time permits, we will explore into AWS services. Every day I'll be starting like this, and just now we discussed about Git commands. So these commands, whatever I discuss, I'll be sharing with you by saying Git commands. I'll create a files, I'll be sharing in that. Once I'm done with the work, for example, I'm giving a scenario here. At end of the session, what I will do every day, I'll check where am I and what I have. I have to go one level back, because Git commands only works as part of the .git folder. Wherever the .git folder is available, there only you can execute Git commands. First command is about status command. It says it is not tracked, it is untracked. In order to track, we have to execute this command. I'm executing git space add space status add space dot. Then it is saying it is not committed. What is the reason that you are adding it? You have to give the reason. For that, you are saying message, say notes. So whatever I am executing here, first command I mentioned, git space add from workspace to staging. From staging to local, you should execute git space command the moment you add any file or directory, or if you do any modifications. Now the local repository is up to date, but this particular change folder, two files are not available part of online repository called GitLab. Here they are not available. I will just refresh it. They are not available here. If I share this link with you, even you can check from your side. Check that link and do let me know. You will not be able to see day one folder here until unless if I execute a command called git space push, means from the local to online you should execute push command. If I show you the same as part of official website, you were supposed to execute push command, git space push command. Let me execute it right away. Git space push space origin space main. What is the main? Branch name. Repository consists of branches. Default branch is main or master. As part of GitLab, main is a default. You can also change it to master. So now you can access running nodes, the images. Running nodes, you can access it. Let me reload this page. And do you see day one folder? We have folder here. And inside that, whatever we discuss, it is here. This is how we share our running nodes, images, screenshots through GitLab. Before I move further, do you have any questions until here? If you are clear, I request you to use chat window, say that you are clear. Use chat windows, because I can understand that we are connected from different locations and we see a lot of background noises from our side. To avoid, you can use chat window for your questions. Or if you see that you don't have any background noise, you can unmute and talk to me as well. Hey,
Hi,
thanks.
Keshav. This is Srinivas here from this side.
Hey, Srinivas,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Keshav, actually, I'm new to this DevOps. Okay,
Okay.
so if I have any doubts and how like while installing Git or like while installing GitLabs, if I have any doubts, how should I contact you?
Okay.
Not
First
only
thing is
installation, like while executing any
everything.
commands, if you have any
Everything.
questions. So yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you have questions during, when I, as a trainer, executes, everything works fine. But when it comes to the learner part, when they start doing it, they come across a lot of issues, and that's what they struck. So what I encourage my all the students is look at my video step by step, and also you have to observe the things. Observation is very, very important. Before we seek help from others, what we are doing, what trainer has done, is there any change? Is there any deviation? If everything is you are doing as per the trainer said, then you need help. At least you have to try more than twice, thrice. Hence, still you see you have issue and you need some help. Two things here. One, turnaround time is before I start the session, for first 5 minutes, I'll ask you questions on the covered topics. Are you able to do hands-on? Have you understood the concept? If you say I have this issue, I can help you right away. Or I'll ask you to re-execute once again and share me the log screenshot in a WhatsApp group so that I'll suggest you. Let's say you're practicing, you stuck, you put it in the WhatsApp group. Hey, I stuck here, but don't do it immediately. Practice for 3 to 4 times. Observe it, look at my video, observe it, make a notes of your own notes. Then fifth time, you put it in the WhatsApp group. Somebody will respond to you, myself or my mentors, they will respond to you.
Okay, got
That's
it.
how that's how the learning journey should go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Why? Because Keshav, like I'm new to DevOps, and moreover this Git, like not only Git, so whatever the concept you're teaching, right? So completely new. Like I'm gonna stuck somewhere, so definitely need someone help. So definitely, like I will watch the video if there is any. Definitely, I will post it in the WhatsApp group after trying multiple
Wonderful,
times.
wonderful. And the key thing is to be successful upon whatever you're learning is you need to complete on daily basis. It's like our Kabir Das poem. You have to do it on daily basis. If you keep it for tomorrow, yesterday's session and today's session become tomorrow heavy, hectic for you. So one key thing for everybody it is I'm giving, if you don't practice on daily basis, you stuck. So I request, I encourage when you're spending some time, you're upskilling something, do it on daily basis. When you look at on Friday evening, and if you see 5 sessions were completed, you see yourself progress that you completed 5 topics. You learned 5 different topics for that week. Yourself, you can do some progress analysis on weekly basis. When you do on daily basis. Okay, thank you. Let's move further. Yeah. So the other part is about session video. Whatever we are discussing, how it is being recorded, how you will be accessing this, how you will be accessing quiz, how you will be accessing interview questions, how you will be accessing sample resumes, will be shared through learning management system. LMS will be there. And once you register with the course, they'll give you credentials. Like you have to log into the site with the help of your Gmail or whatever your social accounts and with your own username and password. Then this particular course will be available to you from the backend and you will be able to access it on daily basis. Notes, images, screenshots will be available in GitLab. Session video, quiz, interview questions, sample resumes, all will be part of learning management system. So that these two tools will help you to be on track of what you're learning on daily basis. And if you come across any issues, my team will be there. They will help you out in terms of access issues or not loading, or could be any issues, my team will take care of you. Now we will get into the actual concepts. One of the learner is asking, should I use Linux OS to practice or Windows OS? Being a DevOps engineer, you should be in a position to handle anything. So whatever you have the resource with you, you just start with that. Nothing is impediment. You can just get started with what you have it. I see one more question also from the learner saying, is a self-paced course? No, it's online trainer based. I'll be there, I'll be explaining everything to you. Yeah. Next one, roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. It may be AWS, Azure, GCP, could be any cloud platform. Wherever you are a DevOps engineer. You will have some roles and responsibilities on daily basis. You have to execute them, and in order to execute them, you should some knowledge about it as well also. So first, I would like to talk about roles and responsibilities. To fulfill these roles and responsibility, you should know some knowledge, and what it is, I'll be explaining to you. First, let's get into the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer on day-to-day of his life. First and foremost thing is monitoring. You will be part of an X company. That company might having hundreds of servers of Windows, Linux. They may be running hundreds of applications which were built on Java, .NET, Python, Angular, and these applications will be connected to the databases. Those databases could be a relational or NoSQL. So being a DevOps engineer, you will be monitoring this entire infrastructure with the help of various monitoring tools. If I list monitoring tools, here I can show you some list of monitoring tools. Splunk is one of the monitoring tool. Dynatrace is one of the monitoring tool. Grafana, ELK Stack, Neuralink, AppDynamics, Datadog, Instana. Being a DevOps engineer, you may be having a question, do I need to learn all of this 8 or 10 or 20? No. If you can learn one properly, with this experience, what you can do is you can work with other monitoring system. What you will be monitoring here is about your entire infrastructure, or your Kubernetes cluster, or maybe your logs of your Linux machine or a Windows machine or a database, or your application logs. You will be monitoring your mobile applications, static monitorings, network monitorings, browser monitoring, ping monitorings. All of these different categories you will be monitoring using monitoring tools. That means you will not be doing for every 15 minutes you go to this tool and you do it. No, you set up everything and you write a condition. Based on the condition, an alert will be sent to your DG or DL, and based on the alert, you action upon it. The alert will be sent to you through your Outlook mailbox by creating a ticket. Where? In ServiceNow. ServiceNow is ITSM tool. Using ServiceNow, a ticket will be created, an alert will be sent to you, and based on the alert and ticket, you start assigning it to yourself and you start working upon that issue. So being a DevOps engineer, you'll be monitoring the entire infrastructure. Being a DevOps engineer, you'll be part of incident management. A incident will be delivered to you through ServiceNow. An alert will be sent to your mailbox. Upon this alert, upon this incident, You log into service now, you acknowledge that incident, you start working on. As part of it, you do troubleshooting. You'll be doing troubleshooting. As part of it, you'll be doing system analysis. If it is application server issue, or if it is a database issue, or it's a web server issue, or is it a network issue, or is it a what's a private cloud issue, or it could be a permission issue, or it could be a storage issue. So you'll be troubleshooting and you'll be acknowledging it. So being a DevOps engineer, you'll be monitoring incident management, you'll be monitoring entire infrastructure, you'll be doing incident management through ServiceNow. You'll be troubleshooting. During the troubleshoot, you do system analysis, deep dive onto the problem, and you try to fix them. And you also part of security vulnerabilities. Fixing the security vulnerabilities part of Windows or Linux operating systems. There'll be dedicated IT security team will be there. They keep on perform some security scans upon the provisioned infrastructure, and they send out the notification based on the applications or servers which you belongs to your group. You get a detailed documentation and what to do, how to fix. So you log into those operating systems of Windows or Linux, and you start fixing the vulnerabilities part of the operating systems. This is also one of your key area as a DevOps engineer. One of the learner is asking, what is incident management? If something has happened, it's called an incident. And regularly across your infrastructure, like as I mentioned, app servers, web servers, database servers, like for example, you're using a Facebook and you're trying to upload an image. You're not able to do it. That is an incident. You raise a concern to the Facebook support team. Hey, I'm not able to upload an image. Your issue will be an incident to the person who is supporting that application. Infrastructure provisioning. As I mentioned, infrastructure provisioning is nothing but provisioning of Linux machines, provisioning of Windows machines through scripts, through Terraform, through graphically. Like somebody want a Windows machine with MS SQL server. You have to log into the AWS cloud, should go to compute, you should go to services and compute, then you should go to EC2, then you will be provisioning an EC2 instance of Windows or Linux, whatever the requirement. And again, that requirement also comes with through ServiceNow, because ServiceNow is the ITSM tool. If somebody wants something, they create an incident ticket here, and you start working upon that requirement. You go to the specific region, specific account, you create that particular infrastructure. So what you are trying to do, infrastructure provisioning on a cloud of AWS or Azure, whatever you have on premises, you provision them. Who will do this? Being a DevOps engineer. Patch activities. Being a DevOps engineer, your one more role is to do fix the patches across this operating system or applications. And the other one is about being a DevOps engineer, your work is to automate things. You'll be working with various stakeholders like developers, testers, DB administrator, DB developers, system administrators, system network engineers. So you work with various stakeholders, you understand their problem, you create automation solution using CI and CD pipelines. Continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. As part of this, you may be using Jenkins, Git, GitHub, JFrog, SonarQube, Tomcat, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Packer, all are required to automate something. They were doing some manual activity where they are spending a lot of time. And being a DevOps engineer, your responsibility to locate the problem, understand it, the way they are doing it, and you automate them, automate that particular thing
using various tools. That's called CI and CD pipelines. Next part of the CI CD pipeline, or if they already part of cloud, they may be going with CI CD pipelines. As part of it, you will have built-in deployments. If it is on premises, if it is normal EC2 instance also, there will be built-in deployments. Being a DevOps engineer, you are supposed to do that. Automation. If you are aware of programming, scripting, like if you go across any organization today, the first priority they ask you, do you know Python? Why? Because in their organization, they were using a lot of application servers. And as part of that, there is a lot of manual activities involved. That manual activity can be automated with the help of Python. Why only Python? Because Python has huge community. Python is with Google, hence it is supporting. And it has a lot of modules, easy to implement, easy to run. If you know scripting or programming, you can do automation. Not that you have to do it in day one. That's why you have to look at the problems, understand how to fix them. If you want to learn Python, you have to learn it and do it. But they don't force it that you have to do it. If you do it, it's obviously like you will have your extra curricular activities. But automation is also one of the key things as part of the DevOps engineer roles and responsibilities. The cost optimization. Whenever we interact with the cloud computing partners, we have AWS, we have Azure, and we create a lot of resources because AWS has 200 plus services of compute, containers, database, storage. We create them and we forget to remove, we forget to add right tags, and we forget to manage properly. And that leads to what? Cost. Being a DevOps engineer, if you can maintain it, if you can remove unwanted things which were created by somebody and they forgot to remove it, if you can standardize the process, if you can tell that, hey, if you are creating some resource, create this tag to your resource so that your instance will not be deleted, because this tag is whitelisted. If some resources were created and there are no tags, those resources you can delete with the help of jobs, cron jobs. Write a simple script to delete them. And I request you to go on mute. I am getting some background noise. Somebody is unmuted. I request you to go on mute. It is like you're logged in from mobile phone, I believe. Please go on mute. Shrikant has logged in from mobile phone. Please go on mute. And Nagaraju, please go on mute as well. Yeah. So I was explaining about cost management. Being a DevOps engineer, you also play a vital role in terms of cost management. In a layman, if I want to tell you this, for example, I have given some money to you. How do you invest? How do you spend that money? You do cost optimization, right? So the same thing is applicable as part of the real time. When you're part of an organization, when you're part of a project, when you create something, when somebody creates something, they should create according to the standardization. If they're not doing it, being a DevOps engineer, you monitor it and you do cost optimization. And as part of this entire things, you come across a lot of lesson learned and new process. You have to prepare a run book. So that all you will be documenting with the help of SharePoint, with the help of Conference. Or you might create a document and you place it in one of the shared location. Documentation is also one of the key things for the DevOps engineer. How to become a DevOps engineer? As of now, you have understood roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. Now you have to look into how to become a DevOps engineer. What all is needed? First thing is software development lifecycle, which is Agile and Scrum methodology. You should learn it. OS administration. When I say OS administration, we will be using Windows and Linux as part of the real time as well. So if you can learn at least how to work with an operating system like download, install, configure, user management, permissions, file system, controlling services and daemons, checking the logs, deleting files, renaming folders. If you can have this particular knowledge, that is enough upon Windows and Linux. We'll be covering all of these concepts. We'll be covering SDLC, we'll be covering OS administration here, and cloud computing. I request you to go on mute. You have logged in from mobile. I request you to go on mute. I'm getting some background noise. Nagaraju.
Is it possible to see?
No, I'm not able to do it actually from my side.
I am new to this app, sir.
Nagaraju, you let me mute it. Let me mute it. I think I don't have a option to mute you actually. You can go on mute. I think you'll have a mute option on your connection itself. There is a audio symbol. You just click on it. You go on mute. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, part of cloud computing will be exploring onto AWS. Part of AWS will be looking onto some of the services like compute, database, developer tools, containers, networking, storage, security identity compliance, one of the migration tool. Yeah, these are the things we'll be looking in terms of cloud computing, and we'll be using DevOps CI/CD pipelines tool from AWS as well. Then the key thing is also infrastructure as a code. Being a DevOps engineer, you were supposed to provision infrastructure, as I said. So as part of it, you are not supposed to do graphically or manually. You're supposed to create infrastructure using Terraform or CloudFormation. If you're part of AWS, CloudFormation will be there. Even in the AWS, you can use Terraform. So Terraform works with multi-cloud. Even it works with on-premises. Infrastructure provisioning can be done with the help of Terraform. And while you're working as a DevOps engineer, you'll be working, you should know about web servers, should know about database servers, should know about application servers, and you should be working with version control system. Just now I explained you about Git, GitHub, sorry, Git and GitLab. You should know about that. We'll be discussing all of this in our session. Only no need to worry. Continuous integration is nothing but Jenkins will be exploring. Binary code repository will be exploring onto JFrog. Data serialization is nothing but working with XML, JSON, and YAML files. Configuration management, we have Chef, Puppet, SaltStack, and Ansible. We'll be exploring onto Ansible. Containers. Part of containers, we have many vendors. One of the vendor we will explore, which is called Docker. Static code analysis tools, we have Black Duck, we have SonarQube. We will explore SonarQube as part of our sessions. Container orchestration. Most of you are already aware of this, which is nothing but a Kubernetes. We have Docker Swarm, but we will focus on Kubernetes because Kubernetes is being used widely. Part of monitoring, as I already explained, we have various monitoring tools. We will be focusing on New Relic. Part of machine images, creating baked images using Packer. HashiCorp Packer, we will be using it here. to create a baked images. Being a DevOps engineer, you should be a part of migration strategies. When you're migrating workloads from on-premises to cloud or from cloud to cloud, you should be following some certain strategies. We'll be exploring onto what all migration strategies we have, how to use them, which one is best to use and when. And also being a DevOps engineer, you should also part of deployment strategies. Which deployment strategy you have to use, blue, green or canary. There are many deployment strategies we have. We will be exploring all of them. And based on your experience, based on your understanding, based on the organization, you have to use one of it. This is all about roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. To become a DevOps engineer, you all should know about all these concepts. From each concept, we'll be looking one of the leading tools throughout our session. And we were about to explore into AWS services. This I'll take it to the next session. Our next session will be on Monday at 7:30 a.m. IST. Due to weekend, we kept at 9:30, and Monday we will meet again 7:30 a.m. IST. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, hi, Keshav. This is Sandeep here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, about AWS. So how depth you will go into AWS? Or just you will be covering services, or we'll be having hands-on on AWS services. How is it going to be?
Part of AWS, first thing I'll introduce global infrastructure of AWS, and I will show you how to log in as a root user, how to log in as a normal user, and then how to create a EC2 instance by going to the compute of Windows and Linux, and how to work with database, how to launch a relational database system, then how to create a network, VPC, subnets, route tables, and launching instances inside the subnets. We'll look into storage, S3, and we will explore into DevOps tools. Part of DevOps tools, we'll be using code build, code pipeline. Code commit is equal to GitHub. So while I'm explaining GitHub, I'll be covering this as well. So approximately 20 to 25 services we'll be covering from AWS. Not all, because we need time also. And we don't need all actually. What is needed for the DevOps engineer, if you can understand that, then remaining thing you can upskill yourself.
Okay, yeah, thanks. One more question. We have a plan to migrate in our current project, migrate from OpenShift to complete cloud. So I think, yeah, after taking this course, yeah, will this be helpful to me so that I'll be part of migration, so from scratch to the cloud. So what do you think?
If you can follow me on daily basis, if you can practice on daily basis, I can tell you 100%. This learning will give you a lot of confidence, and you can. In the beginning, you might face some issues understanding of workflow or there, but once you pick up there, once you start working upon my concepts, the same thing you correlate there, you can be able to do it yourself.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. And the link will be shared. New link will be for Monday session. Monday we will have different link.
I have one question, Keshav.
Yeah.
Is there any support or guidance will provide from your side for clearing AWS or Docker or any Kubernetes certification? Is there any support will be given?
Yes. While I'm covering all these topics, I'll also speak about certification part. I can give you the links. I can give you some tips over there, how to practice these exams, how to prepare for the exam, how to give mock exams. So these guidance I'll give you. I'll share the valuable links with you.
Okay,
Upon
thank
that,
you.
you have to just sit back and
As per your session, I came to know that few tech stack you are going to cover. Okay, can we have a total list of tech stack you are going to cover?
Definitely, you will be receiving a course content through my team. They will be sharing with you. But this is a tool what I regularly follow. And here we have segments like, continuous integration. We have many tools here, but we will discuss one. And in terms of AWS, we'll discuss code build. When you understand this, this is easy to work. When you can understand these two things, remaining are easy. What is the difference? It is like, I can give you one simple difference is Windows and Mac. What is the difference between Windows and Mac? Look and feel. And some in Windows, we close things from the right side. In Mac, we close the things from the left side. Look and feel different. Different vendor. Way of accessing is slight different. This comparison you will be able to see. And
Okay.
if you see your source code management, we'll be covering most of them. And if you look at automation, we will be discussing all of this, but focusing on one, which is Ansible. And if you look at containers, we have various vendors here, focusing on one. ITSM.
Okay.
ITSM. If you look at ITSM, just now I explained ServiceNow. We'll discuss about Jira and why we use Jira. And this is being covered as part of Agile and Scrum methodology. Also, this is being covered in a different way also. And ServiceNow and part of deployments and part of database management. We have SQL databases, we have NoSQL databases. I'll be giving, getting started and giving you some scenarios which are really needed in real time. If you can understand, if you can practice them, that is more than enough in real time. It is DevOps is like, you will be working with a stack of tools. You don't need to be 100% perfect on each one. If you can know how to do it, each tool is giving a documentation. Each tool is, they are improving every day. Today you see something, tomorrow they come up with another version. So 100% you cannot put efforts over there. But core of it, you should know how to use it, how to Google it. If you stuck somewhere, how to ask your question to the Google. And what is needed in real time. This kind of exposure, I'll give it to you. Confidence levels, I'll build it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Keshav.
I
Yeah, I was asking. I did ask if it was self-paced, and you actually answered the question that it's actually online. So I wanted to know what the schedule is like. Is that an everyday session with you, and how long is the course for?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, perfect. I'll be answering you this particular question. The course duration is 40 hours, and this is a weekday session. That means Monday to Friday, daily 1 hour. Monday to Friday, daily 1 hour, 5 days a week, and 40 hours is the duration.
Okay. Is there any structure for weekends? Because for me, I'm in a different time zone, and I'm quite busy Monday through to Friday. Is there any option for weekend classes?
I will talk to the management. We might come up with a weekend session. If it is weekend session, then we might go with the 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday. Mostly 6 weekends it will be 12 days, each day 3 hours.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
Hello, sir. This is Rahul.
Yeah, Rahul, please go ahead.
Sir, digital AI is the site where these all tools are accessible, sir, or in other
Uh,
organizations?
this is actually somebody's web application website. They provide solution to the cloud. They provide solution to the DevOps. I was randomly going through this site around 6 years ago. I keep on myself update things, right? As part of that same research, I encountered this site is very good. If I can show this site to my students, they can easily understand.
So in other organizations, so what is the like site to accessible to these all tools?
See, to develop this also they need efforts. To develop this also they need efforts is equal to time. Time is equal to money. They might tell you in a simple document. They might not come up like this diagrammatical, dynamic thing. It depends. It depends on each organization what kind of tools they want to use. They might come with a different document. They might not come the exact document which I'm showing you. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I got it, Keshav.
Perfect. Thank you all, and I hope you enjoyed this session. I'm looking
Keshav,
forward
one
to see
last
you
thought.
all. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry
Please,
for
please go ahead.
Keshav, I come from a non-IT background, so I work for
Uh-huh.
the healthcare domain. So what should my approach be towards DevOps? So can I directly jump into DevOps, or should I do some pre-training with other courses and get into this?
What I suggest is if you can spend more, if you can spend 4 to 4 hours per day
Okay.
after joining this course, if you practice on daily basis, if you can spend 4 to 6 hours a day. Why to 4 to 6 hours is, as you mentioned, you're from non-IT and the other domain, right?
Yes,
To
sir.
understand all of this, first thing is practicing my session itself, it will take 3 hours for you.
Okay.
On daily basis, whatever the topic I explained, to practice them step by step, understand, it'll take 3 hours for you. Apart from 3 hours, is next 3 hours is why this topic I should learn. Are there any other vendors? Keshav has mentioned that these are the vendors. Why we have to use? Which one is the famous? Like this, you have to cross question yourself. If you can do this kind of practice, and after 3 months, you can easily understand each and every concept, whatever they ask in the interview, you can answer them. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Keshav.
See, first thing is DevOps has lot of tools. To remember them, you need to do a regular ritual. It's kind of a ritual, I can say. To remember all of this, you should deal with them every day. And during this session, we will be meeting for next 2 months, for example. Another 2 months, you have to keep it extra for to practice all. Anyway, you have to do it on daily basis. That is there. After that, learning along with me and understanding is again takes little time. So if you can plan 4 months and 2 months will be course and remaining 2 months will be not that like you practice after 2 months. I'm 100%. I can tell you after completion of the course you will not practice anything. If you want to learn something, do along with the daily session. The concept is learn by learn by doing. That's it. Then only you will able to survive, sustain in, as part of DevOps world.
Hi Keshav. Can I
Yes.
ask you a question?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
please.
what is the scope like DevOps versus DBA? Like, I'm into DBA, basic DBA. So, can I convert the domain or how it is? Like, I just want to
You
know
have
the scope.
you have to do it. You don't have any other choice. If you want to really
Okay.
grow, first point, if you want to really, if you're looking for an opportunity, for example, you
Okay.
were working in an X company for last 4 years. Your package is, when you compare your package with the DevOps engineer, you are at some almost like 50, 70% difference. Do you really happy to work as a DBA engineer? You want to
Exactly.
grow. Obviously, you want to grow.
Yes.
And that too, DBA activity is also part of a DevOps engineer. because
Okay.
you will be interacting with the databases. You have to provision a database, you have to create a schema, you have to create a table, you have to write a stored procedure, events, you have to do all this. That means
Correct.
you have to upgrade yourself by learning other DevOps tools. That's so you scale up. When you scale up, two things. Financially, you get a better package,
Mm-hmm.
and position wise, you get a better package. And DBA, you already aware of how to do it. When you learn, explore new tools as part of DevOps stack, then you get excited about it. Not that you have to do 100% as DevOps tool, all whatever you are doing it. No, the DevOps is a team, part of team members. See, now you are DB expertise. For what you do this sprint, you ask them, hey, give me this DB activities. Along with the DB activity, give me other part, which is like Jenkins part. I will implement it. I will learn and do it. And you ask some, like, along with your DB activity, you will take infrastructure provisioning, like Terraform activities. Like this, you have to upskill yourself. This course will give you the glance of DevOps engineer. To become a DevOps engineer, roles and responsibility, you'll understand it. After that, when you jump as a DevOps engineer, there, the moment you see that environment, you don't need to worry. You can tell, my core area is this. Give me that opportunity to learn and do it. In this course, you are already learning about the tool. There, you take the piece of work, you implement it.
Okay, thank you very much. Just last question, like, is there any certification apart from AWS in DevOps? Like, I know AWS is a certification, like in other tools. Do we have to take those certification too?
First and foremost thing, most of the organizations, they prefer for AWS certification. If you are AWS certified of, for example, developer or system admin, SysOps, or architect or DevOps, what I suggest, go for DevOps certification. When you call it as yourself as a DevOps engineer, go for DevOps certification. In AWS, they're serving AWS. I'll just show you. This is AWS certified DevOps engineer professional. You do this certification. Whatever you're learning here, source code man, SDLC, you know Agile. You should know about Agile. I'll be explaining it. Configuration management, Ansible, infrastructure as a code, Terraform, monitoring, Neuralink, logging in, Neuralink or Splunk, policies. In AWS, you learn policies. Standard automation using Ansible or using Python. Incident management, ServiceNow, event response, high availability, fault tolerance, and disaster recovery. This is part of AWS. Being a DevOps engineer, you learn them. And what all is required, prerequisites? Here we already have the prerequisites. You should know about Linux and Windows. You should know some programming or scripting. You should know core AWS services. You should know how to provision infrastructure, operate the infrastructure, manage the infrastructure. So whatever as per the certification, we are also covering. What is needed in the real time, we are covering it. Am I covering 100%? Nobody can cover 100%. Guide you 60 to 40%. So 60% we can guide you. Remaining 40%, you have to practice and do it, go to the theory, and you have to explore yourself. Got me?
Yeah, sure. I got the answer.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, thank you all, and I have to rush to other session, and I hope you enjoyed the session. And I enjoyed a lot answering your questions and sharing my knowledge with you. And I'm looking forward to see you on Monday at 7:30 a.m. IST. And you'll have a new link our team will be sharing with you. And I request you all, please give a valuable feedback about my session, about me as well. That will help us to serve according to the user requirement to the upcoming batches as well. Thank you all. Take care. I wish you a wonderful Saturday. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.